Okay. I decided to make this video today because, well, while I could rant about how this new armor definitely, trivializes the idea of anyone going to Lucille and stuff like that, I think there's a slightly bigger issue. And the slightly bigger issue is that why this keeps happening. There has to be a reason this sort of thing keeps happening, right? So, I'm going to tell you a little story and show you an image too while I'm at it. Well, maybe a word of text, but most of you will know what it means. Where is it at? Actually, I know how to show you better. It's over here.
Hi.
Control's working better than I expected to. Alright, let's see. Come on. Target control is an absolute disaster, by the way. And embarrassing. Give me a second. Okay, this fight right here has quite a bit of history in the world of Phantasy Star Online, which, in my opinion, back in the day, it was one of the best quests the game had to offer at the time. And it, you know, aside from the whole 20k that you got from the fight was just essentially worth it. The drops were not annoying to get. You were like maybe 1 out of 5 chances you were guaranteed to get your hands on a Neo's weapon. Or you could just get your Neo's weapon from the trading shop too. You got your 2 options, you know. Like, it was just nice and stuff like that. But after the days, after some time passed, well, actually, let me be more specific. During that time, this was the first time where I've ever noticed where anyone checked your armor and they did not check out properly. They left you. They said, screw it. Because I still have videos where this fight would just take about maybe 20 to 30 minutes before. And it was one of the worst feelings ever. So you'll have to understand that this is considered the worst mission ever. And the worst part about it is this thing has a very essential, you know, augment right there. That Aegis Souls 4 was essential back in the day to make HAL finales. And then, of course, to make Lux HAL finales. Now, of course, thanks to the new LC editions, not everyone is inclined to do this mission anymore. I think when the new LC stuff just dropped, this mission, as far as I'm concerned, has become dead. Pretty dead now. Because why on earth would anyone want to even try to do this mission ever again? It's just left a very bad taste in everyone's mouth. And then to have all this new stuff being outclassed and stuff, and it's like, sure, it's at 90 and stuff. there's a chance getting a wing guard, but nah, man, that wing guard would have to drop 1 out of 5 chance for me to even consider getting it and stuff like that, because it's just not worth it, man. And that was the biggest issue. Now, I don't know why Darkfall's interception couldn't possibly... I mean, it was quick. It was very... Sure, it was multiple phases. It was 2 phases. Let's just say it was 2 phases, because it was like the terrain changed and stuff. Okay, maybe 3 races if you want to be specific about it. It was still... It was quick. At the lowest rank, it was like 3 minutes or less. Which is fine. Quick, easy 20k, couldn't complain about it. Will still go down in history as the best, really one of the best few urgent quests around. Just having a good payout. And not wasting your time. Darkfall's Aegis? Not so much. It's the complete opposite, really. Now, I did mention something in regards to lazy players, because it really just depends. On one hand, you have people who probably had no idea what they were doing when it comes to augmenting themselves. They just kind of rely on the game to do it. And then you have the other half that well, it's not like there's nothing keeping you from talking to other players whatsoever. We could just say it's just anti-social players, really. And I thought about how I could label this as. Either you were lazy because you didn't want to talk to players, or either you were anti-social because you just wanted to stick to yourself. Right? Because we have a lot of loners. We got a lot of people that don't want to... And not even worry about them not being in lines and stuff like that. Just not wanting to hang out with anyone. They just wanted to stick to their stuff, their own means, doing it their own way, which is fine. But when it came to those urgent quests, there were like requirements that one would believe has been taken care of, according to the game. And that's just my controller acting funny. It's gonna act like that no matter what I do. I can't believe that's what was offered instead, a Tristar. I haven't even gotten that weapon yet. That's the worst part. Yuck. I can't believe that Triss was even in the loot pool. Never got one of those before. Okay, so that just kind of ticked me off just looking at it. Anyway, we just can't have a situation like this again. The free gear is just to accommodate the players that are just solo players and that have no idea what they're doing and refuse to ask for help whatsoever. Because it's not that hard. I'm pretty sure if you could ask... I mean, I could test it out right here and just ask somebody. But it's kinda too late at this point. I mean, the best I would probably say is try to go for the... go to a certain place and grind a little bit here. And I'm not really sure how it ended up being. But there really needs to be some form of communication. I know the game's kind of autopilots you to everything. And such. Like, you don't really have to... I mean, we have our urgent quests, which are usually made to do with multiple players and stuff like that. And you think you don't have to speak to nobody. Heck, you don't even think you have to party up with nobody. Right? You just get such significant little bonuses. Why would you bother? I don't necessarily blame you for thinking that way. Why would you? It's so utterly pointless. And let's see what else. Because all the free gear right now is using all the newer augments. Which makes me wonder how populated Lucille would be at this point. Nameless City I could see being somewhat populated and stuff like that. But Nameless City, well, I don't know. I mean, if you're a lazy gamer, you're probably not even going to bother walking up in there because I'm good. At level 65, I'm going to get gear that's so incredibly powerful that I'm not going to face a challenge. And the story progression is just going to be just for the story. Which is quite a shame. I feel like they shouldn't have done that. But we do have to keep in mind, because I don't think anyone is going to run Dark False Aegis anyway. Like, don't you worry. The lazy players will figure out eventually. Heck, maybe the lazy players won't even bother doing urgent quests. I mean, is there any value of doing an urgent quest other than just getting money? Like, that was it. Or to complete some sort of task. Because I would just AFK in those defense missions just for it to go away. Or do Dark False interceptions. Those were the two reasons to do it now. And it's just so sad. Battle of Halfa Lake really was something that was worth remembering. But it just decayed into this. A mission that almost no one will go after. You'd be a fool to even consider doing it. And I guess one would think you're supposed to do it at a higher level, but is it really worth it? I don't know if it's worth it. It feels disgusting doing a higher level one. And it feels kind of agitating that, you know, they have a better version. I mean, what's so wrong about just completely replacing it? The newer version of this fight is just so much better. It gets rid of that. It just cuts the phase. It cuts the gun phase, and it just doesn't. And you just go straight to the fighting. And that's how it should be. And by that time, everyone kind of knew what they were doing. Those fights were going to probably end up maybe 10 minutes. The fight basically gains an extra 5 minutes or so because of the gun phase. I mean, sure, and the gun was mandatory. Make no mistake. When it came to damaging Dark False to an extent, it was absolutely mandatory. You had to have it. There was no way around it. I mean, when he showed his weak point, yeah, maybe you could use your regular attacks, but it was supposedly more optimal using the gun. And that's what worries me. I was almost thinking about playing this game and going to Lucille, but do I really want to take my chances? I was like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. Even if I could hit, whatchamacallit, 250 in, technique potency. Or gun range potency. And granted, I kind of wasted my time even waiting for the game to give me the stuff I needed to make the half analysis to actually put one on my weapon, only to have my time essentially wasted because the LC stuff dropped. You know? Because you're really never going to take care of the lazy gamer issue. Because think about it. Why would anyone want to get any stronger? Sure, we have our people that are essentially like our highballers, the people who pay for that extra power. And let's be real here, they do pay for that type of power. When you run any type of those special Addy capsules that give you 5% potency, and yes, I know you could pay for it with just like regular in-game currency and stuff like that, but this is like the leftovers, you know, the people who just feel like selling it and stuff. Which is what I did. I bought in all 3 versions. And recently got it. But now I kind of feel bad that I did get it. Because now what? I could have used it to buy myself another goofy outfit. I mean, I brought myself a chest plate for my character. And I don't regret that. I bought both versions. And like one of those costed like 8 million. But hey, I don't see anyone else running that chest plate. I also don't see anyone running the Sonic outfit, by the way, too. My friend was so mad when he found out that, you know, you can't get this outfit nowhere else now. You can get the golden Sonic outfit if you look hard enough in the item shop. But this right here, oh, this was exclusive. This was limited time, and it is gone, man. Gone. And I think that's about it, really. But hey, maybe you should share your thoughts or something like that. Because these thoughts were all compiled after talking to a couple of content creators of, well, 2 particular content creators of this game. Let's see. If I remember their name, I'll probably put their names somewhere in the video. So y'all could look them up. The one I caught both of them on stream. I think that's it, really. But who's to blame? The lazy gamers that don't ask for help? Or Sega just accommodating the lazy players so the bare minimum is raised up now. So games don't take forever anymore. So these new players can just get straight into the content as soon as possible. But what's waiting for them, really? Because we all know how long it takes to upgrade a weapon. And we all know how long it takes to upgrade 3 armors. That's something you just do, like, maybe after or something like that, you know. I haven't even gotten to the Tricelio or the Ducelio, because, you know, I didn't feel like it. Why would I? I'm still using a Veshmail at this point. But yeah, I could probably just trade out my Veshmail and just go for what the game just gives me, which might be slightly more powerful. But I don't regret saying no to the. I don't regret not giving up my Veshmail. I mean, I kept it longer than I should have. I should have got rid of it in June, so I can at least enjoy the other weapons and stuff like that. But a weapon that has no that has maximum 100% critical hit rate seemed kind of cool to me. Very cool. And let's see, anything else? Talk about the lazy gamers. I'm talking about Sega's decision about giving us content and just making us, some of us think that we wasted our time grinding and stuff when they're going to keep giving us power. I mean, I didn't mind this sort of thing happening when it came to seasonal stuff, by the way. At least with seasonal stuff, it meant that, you know, you had more of a incentive to play the game at a certain time of the year. There was some degree, you had to actually still participate in some activities to get the armors and stuff like that. Like, that, in my opinion, was a fine system. You know, it was not hard to just, like, play the game, get a bunch of seasonal points, and then buy this armor and stuff. And then get really powerful. Because I also remember the seasonal gear being you had to be a pretty high level to do it. Like, it'd probably be something like maybe 8 or something. Like, I mean, were there really crazy people who would just not get it? And of course the armor wasn't completely maxed out or anything like that. You still had to put a little bit of effort into it. But that's kind of how I liked it, you know? This free gear stuff, you know, was just relegated to seasonal gear. They should have just kept doing that. There was no problems about what it was. You know, no one felt salty about them getting free stuff because, you know, they had to earn it to some extent. And there were a bunch of other stuff that just helped us get items that were kind of obnoxious to get. And maybe a good way to get armors that, you know, can use serially for dual quests. Which, honestly, the dual quests are getting a bit irritating, in my opinion. And, it just kills a lot of content, really, with all this LC stuff. I mean, I show you what the amount is, but you can look online about how strong this LC augment stuff is. It's like usually a 0.25% down to a point. It's just a few ticks lower than the maximum one. It's the same old, same old. I mean, the Lux half an hour was teched down just a bit more than usual. Probably because they knew. Like, oh, they're worried about that being too strong. Interesting. Very interesting they made it a little bit more for the Lux Hal finale. They had to draw the line there. Like, very cute. Oh well. Why do y'all keep playing the game? Can you tell me? Because it couldn't possibly be for, like, new weapons and stuff. I mean, I did try. I just didn't feel like finishing, really. And now this new weapon is going to drop, and it's going to be hard to get. And, you know, for a game that lifespan, my stuff is, like, rotating and rotating and rotating, I don't think you can afford having such low drop rates. I just don't think you can. That kind of gets irritating. You need stuff to be consistent. Sort of like the Battle of Hal finale. 1 out of 5 chance. is a perfect number. Even one out of one out of four chance. If we're being generous, just so you know, the person has to play the content more than once. It might even play it extra with a bunch of friends if they really want to get that drop. Because this is on top of getting your favorite weapon, by the way, too, you know. That's a thing. You have to keep that in mind. So I think a 1 out of 25% drop rate, and considering all the different weapons, I think is a reasonable thing. At least you're getting it, and you can trade them for something else to get the actual weapon. I mean, Neos really will be the best weapon series in the entire game for me. No questions asked. There is nothing out there that was ever going to compete with it. That Tristar Wool that we saw not too long ago, trash. By the time it was made quickly available, it was replaced by something else. It's like, what the world were they thinking? A low chance, and then they have the nerve to keep throwing out this Wingard weapon, which I guess has a team effect or something like that. What, people are going to just be keeping that weapon with them at all times, pop their photon blast and switch weapons? You know, not everyone feels like doing that, by the way. It feels so ridiculous. But I guess the whales need something to do, right? The whales want to feel stronger, and I'm not even considering myself a minnow, because I have spent about maybe $40 in this game. A little bit of it in obviously this costume was already $10 already. A little bit for premium, and a card scratch. I don't know the other 10 games, but it's got to be 40 or something like that. Anyway, that's about it. I've rambled enough. Have a nice day.